There have been several questions on how I do one-handed solves using Roux. In a lot of my older videos, you've probably seen me doing wide turns and then flicking back to do an M prime move, and that's actually really slow, and I don't do that anymore. So there's actually a technique called, or at least I like to call it table abuse, and this technique is essentially using the surface, which is the table, and using it to your advantage. Roux solves involve a lot of M slice moves and U moves. A lot of people already know that, but for those who aren't familiar with Roux, the entire last step is just M's and U's. So yeah, it really is a lot of M moves, and to do that one-handed, to do this so many times, is just a pain. So this technique actually takes what you do regularly with two-handed, which is just holding both sides and then spamming the M's and U's. The table acts as your other hand, which holds it into place whenever you're doing M moves, like so. By the way, this is legal. It states in the WCA regulations that you can use the surface, so it's just exploited as much as possible. By the way, this is not my technique. It's actually Tom Barlow's technique, so credit goes out to him. And yeah, I will show you an angle from the back of the cube so you can see how I do both M's and M primes. For M prime moves, I just pull on this piece over here with my ring finger, like so. For M moves, I like to push on this piece over here using my index. The only downside to that is that when you have to do U moves, you're going to have to switch back right away, so it's a small regrip, but it's not really much of a problem. So, yeah. The angle you want to keep the cube at is around a 45, maybe just a little bit less. You want to have enough clearance for the pieces to actually go underneath the cube, like so. Usually 45 does a great job at that. You can have it just a little bit less. Usually I have it less. And the reason for this is if the angle's not like big enough, this middle slice will actually hit the table and it will slow you down. So yeah, you also want to press down hard on the table or else the other side will flick randomly. So it needs to be firm on the table and you have enough clearance for the middle slice. Not like this, because this is bad. Like it's just rubbing against and that slows you down. And it pushes the cube up so this side is not being held on by the table. And that's essentially some table abuse spamming. And yeah. For one hand in general, I still do some basic finger tricks, and a lot of people are familiar with these already. And it's just pinky, index. If you actually practice this, you can get it very, very fast. Sometimes I use my ring. Actually, not sometimes. I use my ring all the time to do R moves, but use my pinky to do R prime moves. So all the finger tricks are usually up the same until you finish corners. So after you finish corners, it's just move spamming, basically. And that's essentially table abuse.